Welcome to Tabernacle Talk. Tabernacle Talk is a Bible study podcast brought from Tabernacle Baptist Church in Essex, Maryland. I'm your host, Brian Self. We hope this podcast encourages you to know Christ, grow in His Word, and show His love to others. Let's dive right in. Hey, welcome back to Tabernacle Talk. Today, we are in Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34, and today's episode is our last one for a little bit that has kind of the cosmic ramifications or cosmic phrasing to it. And so I hope that you enjoy it. There's some things that, even as we talk through it, that are pictures both of the cosmic importance of our day-to-day, that the things that happen in our world, they're not by happenstance. It's not random chance that it occurs. It's part of a larger plan. And it is a picture of what will happen at the end, that there's coming a day of ultimate fulfillment, that every single one of us are going to have portions of our story now that feel broken, incomplete, like, I don't really know that was a good turn of events. This feels like my life is terrible. I feel like right now, if you will, that God's let me down, that this isn't a good end of the story. But the truth is, on that coming day, all of our stories will have a happy ending for those of us that have turned to the Lord, because God will make all things right. All things are not right yet, but they are going to be. So let's begin reading in Isaiah chapter 34 and verse number 1. And I'm going to remind you real quick, because you're going to hear the name Edom. That is the nation descended from Esau, Jacob's older brother. So Jacob was renamed Israel. He was Abraham's grandson, and Esau was his older brother. And Esau did not love the Lord, did not want to follow in God's way. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. And that was often very true for Jacob as well. But God, in His wisdom, in His mercy, selected Jacob to be the one that the Messiah would come through his lineage, and He would make from Jacob, from Israel, the nation of the Jewish people, and all of that stems from them. So Edom was a nearby neighbor nation to Israel. They were consistently harming, pillaging, raiding, participating when other countries would come in and destroy or rob Israel, that Edom would participate in all of that took place there. So let's begin reading in chapter 34 and verse number 1. You nations, come here and listen. You peoples, pay attention. Let the earth and all that fills it hear, the world and all that comes from it. Yahweh is angry with all the nations, furious with all their armies. He will set them apart for destruction, giving them over to slaughter. Their slain will be thrown out, and the stench of their corpses will rise. The mountains will flow or melt with their blood. All the stars in the sky, that is the hosts of heaven, will dissolve. The sky will roll up like a scroll, and its stars will all wither as leaves wither on the vine and foliage on the fig tree. So, as a reminder, whenever you see stars in the sky, you should always be thinking spiritual beings. And so here God is having His ultimate judgment that comes not just on the earth and the rulers of the land and their armies, those that, if you will, they back up the regimes of this world. He is also going to judge the spiritual beings, those stars in the sky. So even where he talks there about the sky rolling up like a scroll, the stars withering, the stars in the sky dissolving. The picture here is that God is going to bring ultimately final judgment on all who have done moral evil here on the land and in the sky. think Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, the skies and the land. God's going to judge the sky rulers, the spiritual beings, the demons, and he is going to judge all who have done wrong on the land. Then God says, as he defeats evil first in the sky, and you can look over at Revelation chapter 12 to see how John phrases some of that there. Then you can also see what God will do on the land, and he gives the picture of Edom itself as kind of representative for all of the nations of the world. So Edom, that has consistently been against God's people, harming God's people, they have been kind of uniquely evil in that they were related. They were relatives of Israel, and yet they did not treat them with kindness or familial respect. Instead, they harmed them over and over again. So verse number 5 says, "When my sword has drunk its fill in the heavens, it will then come down on Edom, and on the people I have set apart for destruction. Yahweh's sword is covered with blood. It drips with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams." So here the picture is sacrifice. I should have just kept on reading. The end of verse 6 says, "For Yahweh has a sacrifice in Bozrah, a great slaughter in the land of Edom. The wild oxen will be struck down with them, and young bulls with the mighty bulls. Their land will be soaked with blood, and their soil will be saturated with fat." So here, the armies of Edom and the, if you will, the ways in which violence is spread here on planet Earth, the picture is given that these are like bulls, those things that would be sacrificed within initially the tabernacle, and then here when Isaiah is writing the temple, that those sacrifices would take place. That if you have, a wild bull or something, that can certainly be a danger to individuals, and the armies of Edom are pictured here as being dangerous, and yet even their deaths serve a purpose. It goes to the glory of God who protects people from widespread violence. We can even think today in our world of the many wars that are being fought all across our world, and innocents that are killed in every armed conflict, and what a abject sorrow that is. And on the day that God returns, he is going to judge the nations and armies of this world for the violence that they have perpetuated. Verse number 8, "For Yahweh has a day of vengeance, a time of paying back Edom for its hostility against Zion. Edom's streams will be turned into pitch, her soil into sulfur. Her land will become burning pitch." If you remember last episode, where God's presence is described as a consuming fire, that as God enters the land, all of these nice things about the land of Edom, streams and soil and land, it all burns up. You can think of how Paul talks in, I think it's 1 Corinthians chapter 3 or 4, where he talks about on that day of judgment, everything that we have done, it will either be gold, silver, and precious stones that are refined by fire, and they're shown to be pure and lovely and beautiful, or it will be wood, hay, and stubble, those things that burn up and amount to nothing. And so here that's a picture that is being given of all of Edom's work as a nation is shown to be futile, worthless. There is nothing good or righteous in the way that they have dealt with people or with God. Verse number 10, "It will never go out, day or night. Its smoke will go up forever. It will be desolate from generation to generation, and no one will pass through it forever and ever. Eagle owls and herons will possess it, and long-eared owls and ravens will dwell there. Yahweh will stretch out a measuring line and a plumb line over her for her destruction and chaos. No nobles will be left to proclaim a king, and all her princes will come to nothing. Her palaces will be overgrown with thorns, her fortified cities with thistles and briars. She will become a dwelling for jackals, an abode for ostriches. The desert creatures will meet hyenas, and one wild goat will call to another. Indeed, the night birds will stay there, and will find a resting place. Sand partridges will make their nests there. They will lay and hatch their eggs and will gather their broods under their shadows. Indeed, the birds of prey will gather there, each with its mate. Search and read the scroll of Yahweh. Not one of them will be missing, none will be lacking its mate, because he has ordered it by my mouth, and he will gather them by his spirit. He has cast the lot for them. His hand allotted their portion with a measuring line. They will possess it forever. They will dwell in it from generation to generation. So here, what's being stated is Edom will become an uninhabitable location, that there is no more of the kings, rulers, princes that once caused there to be wickedness done both within the land and against other lands in the land of Judah and Israel. And instead of the people living in the land, God says, I'm giving an inheritance of land, but this inheritance of land, it's not going to Israel. Instead, it's going to these desert creatures, these wilderness creatures, where a place that it'd be hard for humans to live, but all of these various birds and hyenas, wild goats, those are the things that are going to live there, and they're going to have a happy home forever. Here, God is setting up a wildlife sanctuary, if you will, here in this land of Eden. And I think here, a couple things kind of stand out to me. Number one, that God does actually care about animals. Over and over again in Scripture, God is the one that created animals. He created animals for a purpose. He has given humanity authority over creation, over the animals and birds and fish and all of that. He wants us to take good care of them. Certainly we can enjoy them for food, with lambs and things. We're able to take wool from them and make clothing for us, and so that can be a good thing. But God cares about animals. He cares about them even having homes and places to live. But that's not the main point of what's being said here. The main point is this: Edom is worse for humanity than if the land just had some animals in it. And I think that is a scathing indictment by Isaiah here, that he says these people descended from Abraham just like we are. They have done so much in harm to others that it'd be better for hyenas to live in that place than it is for the Edomites to live in positions of power and authority with armies, so that so it's better for the animals to live there, because the animals will not cause human death in the same way that Edom is. I want to ask you, is your life one that causes the benefit and joy and flourishing of others? Or are you and I sometimes living in ways that, man, it'd be nicer for someone to just, have a dog as the pastor of Tabernacle Baptist, because then they could be encouraged and they could, have a fluffy dog and enjoy being around that? Or are people genuinely blessed by my interactions with them, my encouragement of them, my prayer for them, my equipping them with the word? Like, I want my life to have meaning and purpose and blessing that is given to others. I want to encourage you in the same way. Like, animals are wonderful, and God has created animals, and God even says here, like, listen, I'm going to care for the mountain goats, and you guys can have this place forever. But I want to be a person that can inherit what belongs to the Lord. And when God comes to judge, I want to be one of those that experiences that good life through receiving what Jesus has done on my behalf, so that I am positionally righteous before God, even though I am imperfect. But may I live my life in right relationship with God and others, not constantly seeking to harm others, deride them, bring them down, be cruel to them, gossip about them. I don't want to be that kind of person. And so I'd encourage you as well. May we be those that can inherit the land like a wild goat, or the night owls, or the ostriches, or the jackals. May we be one of those ones that it's good for us to be the neighbors of those around us. Thanks for tuning in. Next episode will be in chapter 35, and that'll round out this particular section of Isaiah's prophecies, and then we get into a narrative section of this book of Scripture. And looking forward to that. As always, like, share, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. Leave a comment if you made it all the way to the episode, and you can just say the word, let me grab one of these animals, long-eared owl. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, just comment long-eared owl, and I'll know that you made it, and you will get bonus points. I'm not sure what those bonus points can be used for, but you get them. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.